Welcome to BattleTech in the Morning with Captain Nips. I'm Captain Nips. This is the BattleTech Backer Beta, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've got all my pieces in place, and I want to try the thing I've been inching toward most of this week. So, Bulwark, Scourge of the BattleTech Backer Beta. Pilot skill du jour, where you can take it. 50% damage reduction when you can finally get in place to use it. Or you can use it as a slow approach mechanism, which the AI has tended to do recently. The only counter, aside from good positioning, which it's hard to get behind things when they're still a half a kilometer away, is Breaching Shot, which, unfortunately, as we found out, is only on one pilot. So, I have built up a combination of things, I think, today, and I want to see if a combination of multi-targets, breaching shots, sensor locks, indirect fire, all of that is capable of overcoming a superior direct fire force, all equipped with Bulwark. So here's the battle plan. We know the enemy. In fact, maybe you don't, because this is not a preset. This is a lance that I kind of custom put together. I put together my lance, and then I put this enemy lance together. And I gave this enemy lance a 5 million C-bill advantage because I really want to push this. I want to see if I can measure up against this. And if you look very carefully at this lance, what you will see is a direct fire quick draw for short to medium range, a direct fire Jägermech AC2s, AC5s. You will see an Awesome with a trio of PPCs. You will see a Victor with SRMs, medium lasers, and an autocannon 20. Not a single long range and direct weapon amongst the lance. Every single pilot has Bulwark. I think it is safe to say that this is a terrifyingly powerful lance in this setup. You lose a little bit out on gunnery. You're not taking a lot of crack shots here. You get wildfire, but the rest of these guys are rocking 4s and 5s in their gunnery. 5s. 4. Good old ozone. Good old sumo. 5. So my plan, using the catapult C4s that I highlighted on Monday with the paired LRM 20s and the refit trebuchet from Tuesday with the LRM 20 arm, I am going to rain as much breaching shot indirect fire on this team as I can. To help this along, here's the plan. Here's the early plan. Beginning of the match, two sides are at a distance. We close to first contact. Assume for the moment I'm only able to get one contact in radar range, in sensor range. The plan then is going to be one of the Bobs throws a sensor lock, the rest of the team throws LRM 20s. So that'll be an LRM 60 on a single target once it gets into range. Assuming the push continues fairly steadily and I get a second target in play, I can then leverage another option. Bob and Bob both sensor lock 2 separate targets, and then Apex and her twin, also say hi to the Apex twin, I can hear you cringing from here, are going to multi-target on the 2 sensor-locked mechs and fire 1 rack each at both of those targets. Now, I don't necessarily like spreading my damage like this, but if these mechs are moving and bracing every turn, if they're moving and using Bulwark will come later, but it's the bracing on the initial moving that's kind of the concern. If they're running, that's not great, but some of that gets offset by sensor lock. But if they're taking a single move and then guarding, then I will be hammering them with breaching shot LRMs. Also, by the way, I'm going to be backing up as this happens because I don't want to get anywhere near this lance if I can help it. If I can stay undercover and stay out of the way, that's where I'm going to be. And I don't mean to keep putting up videos that are kind of protracted indirect firefights. It kind of is just where my feeling is right now. I promise, tomorrow I'm going to load up all of the big direct fire guns I can on every side, and I'm just going to shoot everything at everything. But I'm super curious about this multi-target breaching shot plan, because this is the thing that caught my eye. Apex has multi-target and breaching shot. You put her in a mech with 2 indirect fire weapons of reasonable size. Is that actually a useful combination of skills? And then, hopefully, when it gets down to it near the mid to late match and things are finally up in my face because I don't have a choice about those sorts of things because movement's a real thing. Real pain. We will start hammering everyone with breaching shots where we can and hope for the best. Today, we're going to go to the stacks because I feel like the stacks, as has been evidenced in the past, gives me enough opportunity to hide and cover for long enough, cross our fingers this time, long enough to get the job done with our missiles. I'm kind of hoping I have enough missiles. I'm not worried about the trebuchets. I'm a little worried about the catapults running dry. And when these catapults run dry, as mentioned on Monday, 2 small lasers is not a lot of backup. I guess I'm committed to melee attacks at that point. Let's hope it doesn't get to that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start the burner on this jambalaya. Let's get this stew cooking.
Prepare for combat.
Breaching shot and multi-target. That's the thing that has tickled my brain now for like a week. Is that a useful combination of abilities? Oh, also, by the way, worth noting, as I was,
Command interface initiated.
tinkering around the game files.
Wow, look at this place. It's really, what's the word? Green.
Turns out Apex, and I haven't looked at all the pilots. I'm going to have to go back and look. Apex doesn't just have 2 pilot skills.
Aye, aye.
Apex has 4 pilot skills. She has multi-target. She has breaching shot. And then she has 2 sneaky passives that don't show up anywhere in the in-game UI. The first passive that Apex has reduces her indirect fire penalty by 1, which would explain some of yesterday's and the day before's weird indirect fire penalty across the team, because the Bobs don't have that skill, so their indirect fire penalty is going to be higher by 1. Also, and I can't understand why, Apex has another skill that when she is making a called shot on a segment, she gets twice the chance to hit that segment. Apex might actually be the best overall pilot mech warrior in the roster, but I'm going to go back and do a survey of the other pilots to see if there are other hidden gems like that. At any case, let's get this party started. So,
Awaiting orders.
the Bobs are in charge of sensor locks, which means we need to get up and
No
get
problem.
into position to do that.
Yeah? What can I do you for?
Bob Beta's got a way better stretch to move here.
Commander.
Apex and her sister are going to be in charge of standing back and flinging missiles at everything. So,
Moving to position.
we're going to move them back. Now, those of you that are longer time subscribers to my channel, thank you, by the way. will remember a match where I tried to use light mech indirect LRM fire on the stacks, and I started with a very similar position and slowly crept my way back. That is probably going to happen here today. Hopefully, this match turns out just a hair better than that match, because that match was a heartbreaker in the end. Alright, so the first thing I want to do, I want to check and see what I've got for ranges. So long range on the LRMs is almost to their spawn, almost to the back line of the map. We've got optimum range here, which is kind of like just in front of the first few spires that the enemy team is going to be approaching to. I think I'm fine to leave Apex and her twin there. So,
Yes, Commander.
at this point, I want to move the Bobs
What's up, Commander? Something I can do?
into spotting range. Let's see what we can get.
Be there in a jiff. Check your scanning. We got company.
Woof. So here's the thing that I did not consider when I built the enemy lance. They're all pretty close in speed, which means this is just going to death ball straight down through the way unless something crazy happens.
Yeah?
Alright,
What can I do you for?
so let's check our sensor. Perfect. We got just to the edge of sensor range.
Aye, aye.
Apex and
Keeping my heat low.
twin.
That'll keep my heat down.
Alright, we're far enough out. So is I've already forgotten what was in the enemy lance. So it was a Victor, a quick draw, a Jaeger mech, oh, and an awesome. Right, okay. So the question becomes, do I hold? Yeah, that's what I do. I reserve down to phase 1. That's going to make the quick draw and the Jaeger mech move first, so we can see what what's going on there. That'd be the quick draw, I believe.
Satellite link established.
And the enemy team is splitting up. Okay. So,
What's up, Commander?
let's start with Bob number 1. Sensor locking over here. Cover and some movement modifier. Not too shabby. It's not guarded, but it is covered. So we will want to breaching shot on that. This guy is kind of wandering off. I'm guessing he'll take to the road next. I doubt he'll come around the far right side. These guys are going to come right down the middle. I'm surprised the quick draw went so far left as this. So,
Something I can do?
we're going to follow this up with Bob attacks. Because cover, cover. I'm getting rid of the cover. I could sensor lock to get rid of the last 2 pips here, but I think I'd rather just fire guns at it, get some damage on, and remove at least 1. I think it'll only remove 1, though. 55% chance to hit on an LRM 20, but we're breaching shot, so ignore the cover. This is on its left side, which may become important later. Mostly just lasers on the left side. Yep. Alright. Also worth noting, let's just point this out, indirect fire +3. So, because Apex has that hidden pilot skill, expect to see indirect fire +2 on her. Let's make with the bacon. Decent hits. Chipping away at the arm there.
Yes, Commander.
Alright. I think in an interesting slight change of plan, because this is only cover, it's 25% damage reduction. It's not the full 50, so it actually makes more sense to fling both of the missile launchers at this guy. How come I'm not getting... What's going on here? There we go. 80%. If it were guarded, it would make sense to fire one and breaching shot it, but since I can put 160 damage on, that goes down to like 120. Assuming all the missiles hit, which they're not, but, you know. I'll take threes. I'll happily take threes. Yeah, there we go. That's the kind of sauce we're looking for. Alright.
Commander.
Twin. In a strange turn of events, you're at long range. Haha. Let's see if we can fix that. We can take a step forward. I'm not worried about one step forward. There we go. Ooh, there we go. That's the stuff. And I'm actually going to start to turn her because there's going to come a point where I'm going to need to start moving backward. Probably not the next turn, but maybe the following. And I need to start positioning myself to be able to move backwards and turn upfield. Time to drop some hot fire.
Taking the shot.
Oh, wow. Just ripping that left side. I'm honestly surprised. I thought I was in the front arc on... Maybe not. Maybe I was in the left arc for all of that. That's gross. Okay, so we have an advantage. We should press it. Bob number 1, Bob number 2. Let's keep the Bobs pretty even in terms of ammo expenditure here. We'll use Bob Beta to sensor lock this chump. And then let's have Bob Alpha bring his high heat. Bob, you may want to point those guns toward the moon. Just throwing that out there. And why not? We can also get some called shots in here. Let's go for... If I can leg this guy, that would be great because that means one less thing to creep up on me.
I'm gonna make some...
Got the arm.
Oh, look what you made me do.
Got the leg down to 18 structure. Alright, so next turn is definitely going to be time to start pulling an active retreat because this Jägermech is crawling right up on my position.
Standing by.
In fact, let's see if I can start making that move now for my back line. Yep, here we go. This is going to be at long range and not optimal range, but
Move order confirmed.
I'm not sure that it's going to matter too much. Yeah, 70% aren't great, but I'm going to be dropping so many missiles. Also, let's back up for a sec. Let's just check that again. I believe Bob had 11% chance to hit this leg. Apex, with her fancy hidden skill, makes 21. Apex, she's not even like... She's a Tactics 4 pilot, so it's not even like... She's necessarily a crack sensor guided missile shot person with the indirect fire. How very odd. And there goes a leg. So I can actually, I think, I might actually be safe to switch targets. But I don't have another target to fire on, so
Awaiting orders.
Apex's twin is going to get the nod. Likewise, still firing at long range, but that's fine.
On my way.
Since we clipped that leg, I'm going to now start working the center of mass, because we need to start killing things. 50% chance to hit the center torso. That's got 149. Not going to drill it out, but we're going to put some hurt on this guy.
We'll go.
Yep. Seems good. Alright. Quick Draw is going to get up, maybe hobble a step or two. In terms of positioning, I think I couldn't have asked for a better bit of RNG than to catch that leg early. Ooh boy, these guys are all getting close. Time for the Bobs to back up. Alright, so Bob number 1. Actually, let's take Bob number 2 and take him completely out of harm's way for the moment. I'm going to expose my rear because I'm not actually concerned. I'm not too concerned that they're going to get a shot off on me this next turn. And then I'll fix that whole facing issue the following turn. Also, he's got a nice fat stack of movement modifier, so even if something does manage to creep up, and I'm pretty sure they're not gonna.
What's up, Commander?
Now Bob 2, who's actually Bob 1. Let's bend his movement a little bit this way. I'd love to get that cover and facing. You know what? I'm gonna take the cover and facing.
Head now.
It's still a little closer than I'd like to be. But unless one of these guys sprints, unless this Jägermech sprints, which I think would be a bad idea on its part, I don't think it's going to get into line of sight this next turn. Let's catch this guy. Huh. So it sprinted, I think, because it didn't have a guarded state. Man, look at that. Look at that quick draw. Just dropped to a crawl. That is the best.
Yes,
Alright,
Commander.
so it's not guarded. It's not covered. I need to start creeping back to good position. Here we go.
On the move.
The Apex and her twin are going to get real dizzy by making turn-move turns for the next several rounds. I imagine that would be nauseating. Oh, also, we're going to have to back off firing at some point because heat is becoming an issue. Oh, but we're getting that juicy right side. What a great start. Tear off half the guns that matter. Alright, here we go. What's this guy got? And here we are.
Aye, aye.
Right into Bulwark Town. Let's fix that problem right the heck now. Sadly, he faced forward, so I'm not going to get another delicious, delicious right shoulder shot. Down to 1. I say nay.
Roger that.
To your guarded state, sir. I say nay. Wow, dropping some heat on that right side. Actually doing a really good job of focusing on panels for whatever RNG reasons today. So far, so good. Gotten several turns of unmolested fire.
Yeah? What can I do you for?
Bob Alpha's turn now to bug the heck out
Consider it done.
as we take to the back 40 here. Now, I have to be a little bit careful with Bob Beta because I need to make sure his sensor bubble actually connects. I can get Forest down here. That looks good.
Consider it done.
Alright. Heavy turn. That would be the quick draw. Way back there. Oh, nope, that's not him. We've actually lost sensor trace on the quick draw because he's way back here somewhere. Which is fine by me. Alright, what do we got? So, this is interesting. There's this little bit of hill here that the front edge of it is forested. I think you can walk over top of this. I think I didn't have any problems with that. It might present issues later, but I like cover, and I like continuing to move backward. Somehow that's a direct line of fire. Oh, that's right. There's a ridge here. There's a weird bit of ridge that screws things up on this little bit of terrain here. I guess I'll take the direct fire shot here. Let's make sure I've got my arc placed properly. A little hard to place things when the camera doesn't want to behave as well as you'd like. Here we go. I just need to get this guy in arc, and I want to kind of keep my facing toward the backfield so that the turns that the mech has to make don't cause problems. Alright, overheat. Not an issue because now we're going into solo fire mode. As we start taking this guy to task. Is he gonna be able to move up into line of sight? Nope. Not yet.
Awaiting orders.
Alright, let's keep the pain train moving backward. This little ridge is killing me. Okay, I can move to that. I can kind of... I think I'm going to do that.
Moving out.
Beautiful direct fire shots.
Engaging target.
Ignoring his guarded, bulwarked, guarded shenanigans. Ooh. Chipping down on that right torso pretty good. In an interesting turn of events, the Victor and the Awesome are the same weight, so I don't know which is which at this point. Alright, Bobs. I think Bob Beta is in a slightly precarious position. So, we are going to move him completely out of line of sight.
Piece of cake.
Up through the middle of this hill. And then he is going to leverage his sensors on that poor Jaeger mech we're picking on.
Yeah? What can I do you for?
Bob number 2 is going to find a cozy spot to fire his LRMs. This is reasonably cozy.
Consider it done.
Kind of don't like that my lance is broken up 3-1 here, but you know, what are you going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fling missiles at this Jaeger mech.
I got him.
There we go. Get that right torso. Keep chipping in through the one side. Keep getting that damage transfer.
Commander.
Alright. Is it close enough to start turning the corner? I think it might be. Right on the edge of fun times, also known as optimal range. Keep playing the delicate positioning of my facing game here. And keep reaching shot this fool.
Target locked.
Ooh, look at that. We are chipping hard through that right side.
Standing by.
Apex Twin. Can get a reasonable, not terrible, reasonable line from here.
Moving to position.
Haven't really leveraged the multi-target breaching shot tactic yet. The way things are going, I'm not sure that I'll be able to. We'll see. We'll see. It's early days yet. I've only just legged a catapult or a quick draw and am 41 points from killing a Jaegermech. So I feel like the game is lying to me that this is actually hitting its front arc, but whatever.
Target confirmed.
I'm just gonna take the damage and move on. Yeah, I guess it is front arc. It's starting to hit the left side. Oh,
Smoked one.
that's unfortunate for this guy. Poof. Poof. Do the... Alright, here's an open question. Does the AI suffer from morale effects that I don't know about? Because whatever that assault was, it just ran away. Is it smart enough to try and regroup with its quick draw that's legged? I can't imagine that's the case.
What's up, Commander?
And now I'm in an unenviable position that I don't actually know where the bad guys are. Well, could do a few things here. I could take the opportunity to reposition and just wait for initiative to fall out and come back. Because they're going to have to come back at me, right? Like, they're not going to force me to... Not going to force me to move forward, are they? We'll give it a turn. I'm going to reposition. I'm going to reset. Actually, I'm going to take this opportunity to reset and cool off because while my Bobs are not having issues with this,
Something I can do?
my Apex Twins absolutely are. So let's just keep our sensors forward.
Heading out.
My line's getting a little flat. Let's fix that. Bad guy gonna wander into position. Oh! Oh no! Well, we're just gonna... We're gonna stick to the plan. Sticking to the plan. Get our guns facing upfield. Take the turn to bleed heat. There we go. Picks.
Awaiting orders.
And her twin. As we kind of pair off now. The terrain back here gets a little bit weird. It feels a little weird to try and position in because it goes to rolling hills. The cover is split by this road, so you kind of need to be on one side or the other if you want to keep to the trees.
Hey, Ma! We got more guests!
Oh, Sumo. Sumo, never stop being yourself. You're too good. You're too good for us.
Yeah?
Alright, if I creep Alpha forward, what kind of sensor targets are we gonna get? I'm gonna chance it. I'm a little worried. It would be amazing if I could just sweep this whole team without taking a single salvo, but we all know that's gonna go to hell at some point. Alright. Now is a time where I would like to leverage the multi-shot plan. So, which of these guys is closer to Bob Beta for his sensors? I think this guy's... I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to throw the first sensor lock on the quick draw. Oh, that poor guy. He's been working so hard. He's been huffing it. He's been huffing it from all the way back here for like the last 4 turns.
Yeah?
And now
What can I
Bob
do you for?
Beta. I need Bob Beta and his sensor bubble to track to this guy. Perfect. Here we go. Now we're on it. Now we're getting there. Sensor lock him. Alright, so awesome. Check. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. He's not going to be able to generate any movement modifiers. And also, he guarded. This is basically almost the perfect situation now. So,
Yes, Commander.
Apex from her position can get some lines of fire. Let's just check. I want to check ranges here. I could take a step forward. That probably can't hurt. So if we move here, I want to get things in optimal range. There we go. We're still safely behind the hill.
On my way.
Turn that on. Let's light up some targets. A, B. A and B. Ooh, B is... Oh, B's got the movement modifiers. And the forest is just damage reduction, not a penalty to hit. So, hey, let her rip.
Engaging multiple enemies.
Oh, this poor quick draw. Oh, he's going to eat it right through the side. Lost his left torso. Oh, and this awesome is positioned poorly, too. It's going to take everything on its left.
Aye, aye.
Didn't kill him, but we did wound him. Let's check the ranges here. Again, that awesome is just a smidge out of range, so we're going to roll up a hair. 2 steps.
Moving to position.
$90 and $95. I can deal with that. Make with the murder.
Acknowledged. Multiple targets.
This has a decent chance of killing this quick draw. Not quite. This is just going to be for fun. Oh man, look at that stream of missiles. Oh man, look at all that armor an awesome has. Holy smokes. Alright, here comes the pain. You can feel it. Feel that bubble of murder just starting to bear down on me. Honestly, if this Victor just stands back for time, I wouldn't mind. Speaking of standing back for time, it is time for
Nothing I can do.
everybody to back up. Everybody's turn to just not be here anymore. So let's take Bob Alpha's move. And we're going to throw some sensor locks down. Give ourselves some options.
Yeah.
Bob Beta. Bob Beta is actually not in a bad spot. Because he's got the hill in front of him. I think I'm still going to move him a smidgen just for the sake of
Piece of cake.
keeping the lance together. Sensor lock over here. Give her some options. Even if I don't multi-target, I can at least get some options for where my fire goes here. This quick draw is climbing the mountain on one good leg. All right, that's a thing I didn't know. I didn't know you could do that, honestly, in this spot. Huh. Not sure how much further he's going to be able to go. Also, I don't know that it matters because another salvo might just blow out his center torso.
Yes, Commander.
Speaking of blowing out torsos, Apex, if you would be so kind as to perhaps multi-target. We're going to overheat. All right. Kind of felt that coming on. I think I'm just going to skip the multi-target and fling a single launcher at this guy because he has 11 structure in the center torso. And my heat situation needs to be dealt with. Boom! Dead quick draw. So far, so good.
Tango down.
All right. So far, so good. This is everything's coming up Millhouse here. All right.
Aye, aye.
Let's get Apex Twin moved out of danger range. That works.
On the move.
Make a backwards rolling move. Turn. Point the guns. Ignore his
Firing on
guarded
target.
state. Uh-oh. I don't like to see that. Is one of my Bobs gonna get ganked? No. Meanwhile, I would just like to say that I set up the enemy lance with nothing but direct fire mechs, and I honestly believed that that would help the AI figure out what it should be doing. Running away, unless there's a hidden morale mechanic I'm not aware of, what is it doing? Alright. We'll just keep,
What's up, Commander?
take a look at the Bob
Yeah.
ammunition
What can I do
counts
you
here. Bob Beta's got
Yeah.
more, so Bob Alpha is going to be our sensor jockey for the moment. Let's pull him back to a reasonably safe position, because
No problem.
this awesome is starting to get a little close for my tastes. Remove those two movement modifier. We like that.
Something I can do?
And let the rain begin, but let's not get complacent. Let's continue to keep our separation.
Be there in a jiff.
No reason not to stay at as much range as we can scrounge up. Although, did that put me to long? Nope, just indirect fire.
I'll make them stay.
Ooh, that left side's getting chewed up. Almost broke the armor on the arm.
Awaiting orders.
Let's start over here. Here's where things get a little weird. I could literally split the team. I could take this half up the hill, and I could take this half down into the trees, or I could move this half down into the trees. Keep the party together. First rule of D&D: don't split the party. I know we're not playing D&D here, but can't hurt to just
Move order confirmed.
try and keep the lance together. I know that looks like I'm moving up the hill. I'm going to be moving down this way the next turn. 95% to hit. No reason to use focus quite yet.
Affirmative.
Getting really good RNG from my salvos in that they're picking a side and hitting that side pretty consistently. That quick draw got its whole left side sheared off. That Jaeger got its right side sheared off.
Standing by.
Alright, backing up the train. Backing up the pain train. We've reached our heat neutral position. 90%, don't really need it.
Target locked.
Also, the nice thing about having breaching shot on all your mechs, you don't need to use focus to crack through guard or cover. So you don't get that 1 shot, 2 shots, or 3 shots per game where you can actually do your full damage. I'm okay with this. So let's just keep dropping an LRM 60 on this guy every turn. Alright, so Bob, Alpha, you are back on sensor duty. If you go here, move here, we're going to pull the lance down, and we're eventually going to crash upon the shoals here, but well, when we get there, we get there. I'm actually not too worried. I feel like I'm in a pretty commanding position with regard to how this match is going at this point. And I'm honestly a little surprised the AI hasn't pushed harder.
Yeah? What can I do?
Those couple of moves where the AI moved backward instead of forward, I'm legitimately baffled by.
On the move.
Alright, Beta, get in there. Grab me some armor slag. Ooh, 75%. You know what? Now's time to focus.
Who wants some of this, huh?
We would love it. Love it if you apply all those missiles. I don't even care where they go. Just hit with all the missiles.
You like that, huh?
Got heatsink. Seems alright.
Commander.
Yep, here we
Moving
go.
out. We'll go.
Nice. PPC
Reporting
crit.
critical hit.
Take a smidgen of that guy's lethality away.
Awaiting orders.
Oh, beautiful. We get into the forest. I'm actually going to turn it all the way up the field just in case something weird happens here. Continue to let it rain. Just reaching shots. Ooh. Hit all the right side there, except for a left leg plunk somewhere in that salvo. At least this guy's being aggressive. He's not catching up fast enough, but he's being aggressive. Alright.
What's up, Commander?
Let's keep moving this line back. Actually, let's just check.
Something I can do?
Alright, so Alpha gets the
Yeah.
shot today, which means Beta is the one on sensor duty. Does that keep him in the sensor bubble? No, it does not. Actually, don't feel too bad about just standing out in the open here,
Piece of cake.
because I've got range, which the PPCs of the Awesome could hit if it had a spotter, which, because this guy's not going to be able to spot for himself.
Yeah? What can I do you for?
Alright, Bob Alpha, if you'd be so kind as to get behind this rock and
No
continue to fling missiles. Oh, we've cracked the center. The juicy middle is open.
Commander.
Let's keep moving back. I don't particularly like that I'm on the edge here. I'm gonna take the covered spot here for this
Moving to
tiny
position.
little line of trees. I'm gonna hide behind this one evergreen. 95 to hit.
Copy that.
Ignore that guarded position. Oh, take away a PPC. Goodbye, left torso. It's awesome.
Standing by.
Taking some hard knocks. Ooh, I wonder if this spot is behind this ridge enough to
On
be
my
out
way.
of line of sight. Possibly. We'll find out in a turn or so
Target
if this
confirmed.
Awesome keeps pushing forward. Mean old Captain Nips. Just keep moving away and flinging bees at these guys. Not even giving them a chance to shoot back. You know what I say to that? Screw you, AI.
up,
Screw
Commander?
you and the horse you rode in
Something
on.
I can do?
Alright. Back to sensor target town.
Consider it done.
Ooh, look at this. Look at these little rows of rocks and bushes. Huh. Maybe there was a plantation here. Maybe there was some sort of farming interests going on here. That's fine. I'm not interested in your farming. I'm interested in farming this guy's parts with missiles. Except that that's actually not going to farm them. That's just going to obliterate them. But, you know.
Heading out.
Not going to split hairs over a bad analogy. Let's wreck this guy.
Target marked.
Ooh, he's looking pretty ripe. 16 structure left in the center torso. This is all but a done deal here. As Apex is going to turn and apply so many of these missiles to this guy's face.
Taking the shot.
Right to that big old meaty center of the awesome. Here we go. I am actually a little disappointed that that didn't get the job done. But that's why we bring backups. That's why we bring
Move order confirmed.
more missiles with breaching shots. As 8 damage does the deal. 2 missiles. That's all it takes. Boom. Goes the awesome as we go 3 for 3 on enemy targets with no return fire. Which means we are back.
Waiting for the right move.
Is he even gonna come into sensor range? Doesn't look like it. Alright, well,
Something I can do.
let's send the Bobs. Let's go find him.
No problem.
He can't honestly be that far away, right? What's the over under that this Victor is actually like way the heck back here now?
What can I do you for?
You know, let's get some height.
Hey, let's see what this baby can do.
He sounds so chipper. I mean, he's got every reason to be chipper. In terms of lopsided fights,
Yes, Commander.
this is just about the most lopsided fight I think I've ever recorded, which is honestly a little frightening. I did stack the deck pretty heavily in my favor, not gonna lie. I picked the terrain. I picked my engagement range. I picked builds that were specifically built for that terrain and engagement range. So it should not come as a huge surprise. Hey, look! Oh boy, he is hustling now. I guess we take the under. But
What's up, Commander?
back to the hunker down. Let's find ourselves some cover. No reason not to. Actually, no. Let's take a
Something I
look.
can do?
Yeah, Bob Beta gets the first shot here.
On
Bob
the
Alpha
move.
gets targeting duty. Oh no! Oh no! Days since last misclick. 0. Crud. I did not mean to guard there. Clearly, I did not intend to guard. And yet, there I did. Pushed the button. Caused the guard to flare up. Man.
They're in a jiff.
I've been doing this. I feel like I was presenting an A+ effort so far. I was being very careful. I was being very deliberate with my mouse and keyboard clicks. And then I flubbed one. Can you feel it? That's the downhill slide. It's all happening right now. This Victor is going to run roughshod over my entire lance. It's going to be terrible. Let's move back to a spot. God, where do I move? Do I move? I want that cover. I also want to move further away. Also don't want to be in line of sight. So many things. Oh, also want to get... Oh, crud. Fine. I'll take 2 steps forward. No, maybe not 2 steps. How about 1 step? Nope, don't even need to take... You know what? How about we just don't take any steps forward? Maybe I do need to take a step forward. No, I really don't. So this would normally be 80%, but it's got 2 movement modifiers, so sure. Let's turn to the left for the purposes of setting up for the next move. And focus? Question mark? I feel like that might be better suited on the Bobs with their slightly less good. Well, I don't know. You know what? It's great.
Damn, let's do this.
She seems very excited. I'm happy for her excitement.
Confirmed.
And I should have just shot with 2 LRMs. So let's count moments since last misclick. 0. Because that guy was not guarded. Or covered.
Awaiting
But
orders.
we will not make this mistake twice. We're going to light this guy up with all the missiles.
Firing on
80%
target.
is okay. Ooh. RNG's looking at me good. Got a little bit of RNG in my favor. Working that right torso down pretty hard. Focus fire and goes entrenched.
What's up, Commander?
Alright, let's just take a quick peek
Yeah?
at this.
What can I do you
Yes,
for?
so in an effort to get that last turn back, I'm going to take the high ground.
Heading out.
I'm hoping that this little bit of ridge is enough to block line of sight. I'm not going to hit the minus key this time. I'm going to hit the 6 key, which is sensor lock. And I'm going to tag this guy, and then I'm going to ruin his day. Look at that, he went to ground. Go figure. I wonder why.
I can do.
I wonder why he decided that using his guarded
Be there in
position,
a jiff.
his guarded stance would be the correct assumption here. Let's disabuse him of that notion, shall we? These are going to hit left side. Lots of left side. Which is not ideally what I want, but I'm going to get a lot of left side hits here. A lot of left side hits.
Move order confirmed.
Yep. Looking good. Looking good. Strategy continues to be sound.
Standing by.
Let's just continue to roll the line backward just a smidge.
Moving out.
Nope. Slow your roll. Breaching shot.
Affirmative.
Conserving ammo and doing is maximal damage. Maximal expected damage. Ooh, working that left side. Cuts through the armor. Alright, here we go. Is this Victor finally going to be the one to take a shot? Nope.
Yeah? What can I do you for? What's up, Commander?
Continue the rolling sensor blockade
On the
here.
move.
What's the opposite of a blockade? Blockade is when you literally are stopping something from happening. I'm not stopping the sensors here. I am leveraging them heavily. Also, I just had a thought. If the game campaign, as we have been told, is supposed to span many years across the timeline, and we start to get some of that sweet Star League tech, the first thing I'm going to go find is a freaking Raven with ECM, because I totally want to do the whole information warfare thing, because I love info war on mech games. It's great. It's my favorite thing is info war. Give me that ECM, that ECCM. Give me that sweet
I'll make them dead.
sensor versus sensor action.
Awaiting orders.
Alright, let's continue the rolling withdrawal. This is not ideal. I don't like this.
Moving to position.
This Victor is, I mean, that's a direct line. That is as direct a line of fire, I think, as I've seen yet today. So I am legitimately now worried that this Victor's going to get a shot off on me. Get the lucky head hit. Surprised I haven't gotten more head hits out of this match. I think that is the first that I've noticed for sure.
Yes, Commander.
But is it the first that has occurred? I'm not actually sure about that.
On my way.
Oh, and we are butting up against the bumper on the table here. If this were the tabletop game and it were on a pool table, we have
Engaging
run
target.
right up against the side bumper. We have to start crawling up it. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, AC-20 ammo exploded, and the Victor, who has decided to focus with his he's gonna focus real hard on guarding himself.
Something I can do.
All right, Bob Alpha, you have the sensor duties, if you don't mind. That's good. We like that. Get rid of that little bit of movement.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not actually super worried because this guy's got nothing but... I mean, he had nothing but mid to short range guns to start, but his mid to short range guns are evaporating quickly. Let's apply missiles to... Oh, and this is hitting his left side. If this goes well...
Oh, you want some of this?
If this goes well, this Victor's going to end up a stick. This Victor's going to end up a stick regardless by the end of this round, I think. Because
Aye, aye.
we're going to keep rolling this line. We're going to keep stealing left side shots on this guy. Apex. 95 to hit. We like that.
Copy that.
Can't improve on that with focus. There goes the arm.
That's gonna hurt.
Somewhere up the hill here. Bob Alpha's going to need to duck. Make sure he doesn't get hit by shrapnel and debris. Over here, let's just roll that into its right. Its left side again.
Confirmed.
I can still tell my left from my right. I've been working on it. I have flashcards.
Taking the shot.
The Victor is a stick. We may have its way with it. So we just need to not get too close. We can get closer. We can, in fact, leverage all of our guns now. And I think Bob's going to get salty. We're going to give Bob a chance here. See what we can do here. That seems decent. That seems all right.
No problem.
Yeah, we like that. I mean, he's still guarding, but I'm over doubling my damage. So instead of, well, actually, no, I'm not. I get 80 damage out of the missiles, or I can get 80 plus 75. Honestly, at this point, it kind of doesn't matter. I think this guy is just toast. He's got 115 structure on his center torso. Some of this is going to hit leg, maybe head, but I'm dropping 155. Half of that looks like 75 and a fraction. Eh. This guy's not going to get another turn. It's just not happening. Actually, and this actually wouldn't be a bad time to throw that focus on now, because we've got one more tick of focus to go.
Now the gloves are off.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The gloves are off. Let's make this happen.
What happens when I do this?
Oh, that's a leg. Yep, and nope. Yep, nope. That guy is down. That guy's down in the worst possible way. Ladies and gentlemen,
Mission successful.
the perfect clean sweep. Oh, man. I had high hopes, but I did not, in my wildest dreams, expect to go into this match and come out completely clean. I still had ammo left in a good portion of these ammo bins. We could have taken this further. 22 rounds, 57 minutes, 36 seconds, and an enemy force that got hammered. Oh, look at that. All right, so what have we learned? What have we learned here today and over the course of the last few days? One, if you're getting rained on by LRMs, you really should just rush the target. Man, rush the target. Just rush the target. Just do it. Push through their pain, push through the bees, push through the swarms, get up in their faces, and knock them out. I would like to reverse the lances in this situation and see if I could do that on the lance I have set up for myself here. But I don't know if the AI is going to be smart enough to leverage it that heavily. Really need to get into multiplayer more, I think is what it comes down to. What else have we learned here today? Breaching shot and multi-target on Apex is an interesting combination of pilot skills. Yes, you will find opportunities to use them. Yes, I think it is a decent pilot skill pairing. Is a little weird to use. It would be easier to use if I had decided at any point that I wanted to get to like mid-range with more of their lance and actually kind of get into a scrum and maybe expose my fragile armor to the tender deliberations of their guns. But you know what? No. I think it's a nicety. I think if you are in the campaign game and you're building pilots, if you're training pilots, as we have been told is a thing, multi-target and breaching shot is kind of nice. I can see it. I can actually see it. We'll look at that tomorrow with some more direct fire kind of situation. But you can definitely get the job done with that pairing of skills. Catapult C4 continues to be probably the most preeminent fire support mech that you could ask for on the battlefield. I kind of like this trebuchet build. Really do. It's growing on me. Even though I wasn't completely convinced yesterday of it doing its thing. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like this is a good one. Put it all together. I think the bottom line, the interesting bottom line that you take away from all this is that if you have the ability and you have the option to, all right, let's just stack the deck. The pilots are set up the way I want. The mechs are set up the way I want. They're even designed the way I want. I was able to pick the field of engagement. I was able to pick the locale of engagement on the battlefield. I was able to keep the range that I wanted to, with enough intervening terrain and separation that the other team never got a shot. Even giving up 5 million C-bills worth of advantage just in raw mech, how much would you have to push that up to make this a fair fight? Would you have to fight 4 Atlases? Is that really what we'd be looking at? Maybe I come back to that. I probably would run out of missiles in that case. But there you go. If you set yourself up a lance and you craft it just so, amazing things can happen. And that's enough amazing for me today because honestly, whoo boy, I did not expect this to go to where it did and where it ended up. And I'm just gonna take all that warm fuzzy with me today. And I hope that all of you do as well. But that'll be all for today's BattleTech in the morning. I am your master strategist and tactician, Captain Nips. For one day, let me have it. Just one day. Hoping you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are. And I will see you all in the next video.